I got a brand new Cadillac Pickup Truck. Man, I really paid too much. Nobody's got a car like me. There ain't another one you see. Not a Cadillac 67 pickup truck. Woo! Now what's my wife gonna say? She's gonna scream at me some way. She's gonna be so teed off. I don't know if I'll ever get out of the dog house. When I pull into the driveway in my brand new Cadillac pickup truck. Hey, I know I have payments till I'm 96 years old. Yeah, so what? I look good in it. What do you drive? Oh, probably a Volvo. Yeah. Minivan. Yeah. Cool, brother. Okay. That's right. What's my wife gonna say when I pull into the driveway in my brand new Cadillac pickup truck, baby? Ooh, yeah. Come on now. I lost my family, I lost my home, I lost my children when they were grown, but I still have that 67, that 67 Cadillac pickup truck.
All right, everybody. Hey, you just heard the song Cadillac Pickup right here on the True Fidelity Show, and that is by a group called Brother Paul. And we talked a little bit about him last week. I said, we were going to try to have him on because it's an interesting story. And as a matter of fact, on the line with us right now is Matthew and Paul. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, well, hey, great songs. We've been playing a couple of your songs here and there on the show, and we wanted to put you in the spotlight this week because it's a fascinating story. We want to give you guys a chance to tell it. So, Paul, tell us your history, my man. Speak up.
I'm about 67, and I grew up and born and raised in Stockton, California, the wonderful city of Stockton. And, I started playing guitars about 19 and just kept practicing. I have a friend, Gary Wagner, showed me a lot of stuff. He used to play with Quicksilver, and he showed me really how to play blues properly. And, Matt and Nick both pushed me to do this, and, frankly, it wouldn't have got done without those guys.
Now, growing up in Stockton and in the era that you grew up in, lot of crossover. Blues came out of it kind of came into prominence with sort of the blues rock thing. A lot of the rock bands at the time crossed over, like Big Brother, and you had the Dead and all these guys, the Winter Brothers. Everybody's sort of adopting blues and fusing it into rock. Who was influencing you at the time? Who were you listening to that drove you that way?
Well, I'd like to say that I was following Muddy Waters when I was a little kid and all that business, but I, like most guys my age, I got to the blues through the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
You know, I became I loved the Rolling Stones. And then I started listening, well, that's Chuck Berry. And I started listening to Chuck Berry. And from there, I went deep into the blues. Lucky I came out alive. So I got it kind of ass backwards, you know, but
right.
I got there.
But you've been playing around the scene, and you've been instrumental in the blues scene there for a number of years, correct?
The blues scene really is in Sacramento, and I was lucky enough to play with a great guitar player, Kenny Blue Ray, and band leader Nate Shiner. And so we played around there during that time with all the different blues guys. And, well, we played at Sacramento Blues Festival and that type of stuff. So, yeah, I've been playing around there for quite some time. Great bunch of guys, too.
And so, Matthew, when you decided, this is something you want to do, you want to play guitar, you look at your uncle, he's out there doing his thing on stage. Were you struck by the blues, or were you wanting to go in a different direction, and this is just a project that you wanted to get done, sort of to pay homage to your teacher and your uncle?
Yeah.
Tell us about your path in the music.
It's kind of all those things. It's one of those things where when I was a kid and I was really into like Nirvana, and anything that was like crazy. I was a big punk guy, big into like post-punk. So when I was first starting music, Paul was playing the blues, and I didn't get it. I didn't know what he was talking about. But he was like, check out this. This is The Clash. And I'm like,
yeah.
What's that? And, and I record, but, like those, like London Calling, that's what he bought me for like Christmas when I was like 13 or something, And I got it on the surface, but it took like 10 years for me to really like soak that in.
Yeah, it's amazing how blues has infected just so many genres of music. I'm with you.
Sure.
I grew up, and I was in the 80s. I was a punker myself, and then as I got expanded my realm of understanding of music, how it was amazing how blues influenced not just punk but ska, even reggae, all these different things. It's kind of a universal language in music, just this sort of simple style that came out of basically the heartland of the U.S. that's just gone into all different angles of things. So tell us about this project specifically. From what I'm reading, it sounds like you guys did it really authentic, no Pro Tools, just sort of got together in a room, put some mics up, and just went for it.
Well, I'd like to say that, but I mean, that's what we wanted to sound like, but today it's like, we had to use Pro Tools. We don't have $100,000 to throw at a tape machine in a studio. We use Pro Tools, but, we did it in an old school way. We did live rhythm tracks, the two of us, so got a little like jangle in there. And we'd go back and we'd do like overdubs and all that stuff. But it was really like a building up the sound in kind of an old school way, even though we are using, a laptop.
Sure. We're talking with Matthew and Paul. They're part of the band Brother Paul. It's a project they put together. Matthew put it together to sort of pay homage and to bring in his uncle, who's been a blues musician. What's the future hold for Brother Paul?
Well, the immediate future is we're going to put this album out in February, and then in the time we'll put some songs up online, and we're just kind of getting started putting our feelers out there and kind of seeing where this takes us. I
assume you guys are you on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff? Where are you, or where aren't you?
Well, we haven't got to Twitter yet. Paul, in his advanced age, is just now wrapping his brain around cell phone.
Hey, Paul, I'm with you, man. I mean, a lot of this stuff is it's like overwhelming, and it's like the more you do, the more out there that you're supposed to do. Pretty soon, that's all you're doing, and you're not really doing what you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we were on Nick Martin's blues party, and it's funny. You were talking about the blues, and I just wanted to say one thing. I don't think you can play good rock and roll unless you can play blues.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's so entrenched into rock and roll that, it's like it's a legitimate child.
And amazingly,
Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, and amazingly, like all forms. I'm a big fan of some of electro pop and Depeche Mode and stuff like that, and it seeps into even their stuff. I mean, some of their riffs and their bass lines and stuff, all just straight from the blues.
Exactly.
So it's
and you know, jazz too. They almost fused at one time, but. You know, the influence on jazz is basic. You know, I mean, they're basically playing the same thing.
So when you were teaching your nephew and you're buying him the Clash album, you're trying to school him in a way, sort of give him a history lesson. Did you see it as a twofold thing? Are you trying to pass this on to a new generation? Were you trying to recruit him into the blues, or are you just trying to inform him?
You know, like you say, I was just trying to inform him, and it'll catch you, you know, after a while. You know, you listen to it, and it'll start to make sense, you know, like to a real pure hard rocker like Matthew was. He picked it up, though, and he's always been, I don't want to blow his horn too much, but it's like I take him through the changes once, and he's 8 years old. The bass is bigger than him, and he can play it, you know, like one time through, and then he can play it. When Matthew and I would get down, you know, you get down during these projects, you think, oh, this is no good and this and that. But Nick Andre kept pushing us. He kept pushing us. Without his, you know, rhythm and his encouragement, we wouldn't have got this thing done either.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you have to have that one guy that presses on. Brother Paul's the name of the group. We played Cadillac Pickup. We're going to play one more song by you guys. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about it. We're going to play A Little Too Late. What can you tell us about these songs that you guys are singing?
Well, A Little Too Late, you know, I just thought about an old girlfriend I used to have, you know. And, that's where most of the songs come from. You know, either something bad happens to you or something good happens to you, or it's a girl. Usually it's about a girl or a woman.
Yep, that's a very, very prominent theme in the blues, no doubt.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Matthew, Paul, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. Best of luck moving forward. We're going to keep our eyes on you and see how things work out for you. It's a cool story. I think it's a cool project that's going to catch wings, and it'll be fun to see you guys out doing your thing. Everybody, you're listening to the True Fidelity Show. Spotlight Artist of the Week this week, Brother Paul. This is their song, Little Too Late. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Well, it's a little bit late in the game for me to fall back in love with you. After all the needless nonsense that you put me through, I'm doing all right on my own. You can come and see, but if you do, if you please, don't stand too close to me. Now what's a fine black-haired beauty like you doing in a dump like this? If I didn't think I'd mortgage my soul, you're the one I'll be with. Now I know right from wrong, I'm old enough, but with you it's not that clear. So if you come see me, if you please, don't stand too near. It's not that I don't trust myself, it's just I can't trust myself.